Hey, buddy. You know, when comic books, you know, when comic book companies reprint, um, there's the material from the past, whether it's been in the past decade, maybe the most recent few years, or even even decades way before. Sometimes when they reprint it, or as some people would call it, remaster it, they sort of add a few nuances here and there, things that are not noticeable. Sometimes they might change a word in the dialogue. Sometimes they may change the color of something, just to kind of update it a little bit so that it might be more closer to modern times, even though the story could take place back in the 40s or the 50s, maybe 80s and 70s, even the 60s, if you will. So, with that said, we've seen a lot of these things happen. We've seen that when an anime comes over from Japan, um, sometimes, it'll get translated correctly and it'll be shown uncut. Other times, it will not be translated correctly and it'll be butchered or cut. And sometimes we'll just get the original broadcast. So that's good. And it's kind of a mixed bag there, too. But then, sometimes you get something that really doesn't make any sense. That you feel is completely unnecessary, yet it happens. Yeah, yet it happens. You see, one thing comic book companies do a lot is they will produce graphic novels, right? Sometimes graphic novels of recent story arcs they did a year or so before, depending on how big they are. And they will release them in separate volumes, if not just one individual volume. And sometimes they become bestsellers, if not most times. Then you have books that kind of give you a best of feel. Sometimes you get a archival book or a selection book, or a selection book of stories that are considered some of the best. And Archie Comics is no stranger to this, especially with the Sonic comics. They have basically done Sonic the Hedgehog Archives, Sonic Saga series. They've done this with the new Sonic Super Special magazine, the Sonic Super Digest, and most notably Sonic Selects. Now, that's all good and everything, except for one little problem. Now, we all know in recent years, if not in a recent year and a half, a lot of behind the scenes legal stuff have caused any reprints of, let's say, recent story arcs to kind of be edited and butchered in a way that doesn't make any sense. For example, I don't know if it was an archival book or a saga series book or a selects book, but one of these graphic books, if you will, graphic novel books, a little, reprint books, reprinted a story recently, and I think it was before or part of the Mecha Sally arc, and it had the characters of Linda in there, which is an echidna. And what happened was, for anybody that has the original issue, they know that Linda is in there. They have one specific page of her right there. But then again, when this story was reprinted and reissued, I think it was in a Saga series issue, I believe. I'm not really sure. Or Selects issue, I can't really remember. Maybe even the magazine. I gotta look at this again, look it up online. But basically, the pages that had Linda in it, especially the one prominent page, they were gone. I mean, they were taken out of the reprint. And this is a story that's not even that old. And then any other story that might deal with, like characters like Linda or Julie Sue or whatever, around that same time was being edited and butchered to the point that even though it was the story that you read originally, you knew stuff was missing out. There was stuff that was gone. Now, I will give Archie credit. Archie Comics credit. They are trying to work on that and fix that to where we'll get the reprints of these stories as they originally were first seen. Now, with that in mind, that brings me to Sonic Selects, and most importantly, Sonic Selects number 5. You see, issue number 5 of Sonic Selects had a variety of stories. Some of these stories, if not one of them, was from the original, and I emphasize original, Sonic Super Special 48-page issue, Girls Rule, which was number 11 of the original, again, Sonic Super Special 48-page issue, number 11. It was called Girls Rule, and one of the first stories right off the bat was a Sally story called Ascension. And basically, long story short, spoiler for anybody that hasn't read it yet, this takes place, of course, during the time when Ken Penders is still writing the book. So anyway, I think he wrote this story. I think he did. But basically, Sally, like I said, I think he may have wrote the story. I'm not really sure. But basically, Sally decides it's time to see whether or not she's going to go the path that her father's gone, or she's going to choose her own path. So she basically takes her vest off, takes her boots off, and goes to this, steps into this golden pool that's at the bottom of the castle, the original Castle Acorn. So she steps, or at least one of the original pools. The original Castle Acorn, I believe, or at least in that term. She, again, like I said, she decides, okay, I'm going to go step into this golden pool called the Source of All, and I'm going to see whether or not I go in the direction of my father or I take my own path. So she basically steps into this pool and submerges into it. Basically, she goes under the pool, goes underwater, and merges with it. That's right. She merges with the pool, becomes one with it. In other words, it's like if you were to walk around up to this pool and all that, and wave your arms around it, you wouldn't bump into anything. Or wave your hands, put your hands under and wave it around, you wouldn't bump into anybody, because basically Sally had become the pool. She had merged with it, so she became one with it. She had become the liquid in the pool. She had become the liquid. Okay, I know it sounds strange, but she had basically let herself become one with the liquid. So like I said, if you're like, let's say, King Acorn, and you're just wanting to walk around and inspect it a little bit, probably put your hands in the middle of it or something like that, you wouldn't bump into anything because Sally had basically become the golden liquid in the pool by becoming one with it. I know it sounds strange, but okay, getting back on topic here. Basically, she merges with the pool. She submerges and merges with it, becomes one with it. And she decides, after seeing everything that the Source of All shows her, she decides, you know what, I'm going to take my own path. I don't want to know what the future is going to be like. I want to be surprised, whatever. She decides to go her own path, okay? So she emerges out of the pool, unmerges, if you will, unmerges from the pool. She sees her brother, hugs him, and wishes him the best of luck. Now, her brother had seen her go into the pool and basically said, hey, whatever your decision is, I will support it. He said that in the thought bubble, if you will, in his thoughts. He said that in his thoughts. So basically, after she emerges, sees her brother and hugs him, she walks off. And like I said, she wishes him the best of luck. So anyway, long story short, long story short, that's how the original story was. Now, when Sonic Selects number 5 decided to reprint the story, they did reprint the story. However, they did something that kind of got people talking. Basically, what they did is not only did they make the colors, I guess in their opinion, kind of pop out more by making them more of a fiery-like colors. Well, everything was just like a bright, fiery, golden color every way. I'll provide the link so you can see what I mean. But at the same time, despite the fact that she had taken her vest off and boots off in the original story, the person or people that decided to reprint the story in Sonic Selects number 5 decides, let's add her vest back on. Let's put a vest back on her. That's right. So in the original, she disregards the vest and the boots to submerge and merge and become one with the source of all pool. Here in the reprint, they said, yeah, we'll just probably have her disregard her boots, and she's just going to walk, or not, and she's just going to wear her vest, and she's going to go into the submerge and merge with the source of all pool with her vest on. And that through all this flashbacks and visions that she sees when she's in there, or she's one with the source of all, she will still have her vest on, even though in the original she never had her vest on. She never had her boots on. Now I know this might sound like a small detail, but if you're someone that owns the original issue like I do, or has been a fan as long as I have, you will know that this is probably, in my opinion, the dumbest decision they can make when it comes to reprinting the story. I mean, yes, I understand it's a different time and era 15 years later, and yes, maybe they don't want to upset the fans and mostly the soccer moms or any of the parental groups. I get that. I get that and respect it, but still, it's stupid. I mean, for anybody that's going to pick up Sonic Selects number 5 and they're going to notice that, or for anybody that's new to the comics, they pick it up, read that, and they go like, well, wait a minute, this doesn't look like the story that my brother has or my sister has that I read maybe not that long ago. You know they're going to say something. You know they're going to say something. I mean, I can understand if a story like this took place decades before, maybe 3-4 decades before, and you decide, okay, for the reprint, we're going to put clothes on her so that it doesn't offend anybody. I can understand that then, but this is not even 20. This is only not even a decade and a half later. Not even a decade and a half later, and you're doing this. It's stupid. It's stupid in my opinion, but still, the way I look at it, I mean, again, like I said, I can understand why they did it. I just don't agree with it. And I know anybody else watching this won't agree with it either. Some may not. But that's just my opinions on it. I think, I understand what they were trying to do, but still. They have to understand there are those that do have the original story, can look up the original story online, and they will see the major difference. So, that's all I'm going to say on it, folks. You guys let me know what you think down below. Let me know if you think it was a good decision or not. I'll provide the link down to the edits and changes they made. I'll provide the link to that. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you all later.